What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi is up 6.83%, absolutely kick-ass day, alongside the broader market. 1081 the low, 1142 the high. So a couple of things, no substantial data points today. You did have SoFi put out this news right here. So SoFi provides access to new class of Cosmo fund, and you even see the big man himself kind of posting about this. So I think this is very good for retail investors, should really incentivize some new member growth as well as much needed revenue. So I think all in all, this is very good news for SoFi. Aside from that, good for the broader market was this. Percent sees a de-escalation with China, saying that the situation is unsustainable. So at the end of the day, I feel like this is like the signal that the market and that news is going to drop soon, because I think Trump probably got his hand slapped by openly coming out and saying, buy, you need to buy like right now. And then roughly like an hour later, big news drops about the 90-day pause. I think this is essentially indirectly a way of saying, hey, a deal is going to be coming with China probably this week, and so just be prepared. So I wouldn't be surprised over the next couple of trading days if you do see something about this. So at the end of the day, market's taking it as a very strong positive, as you can kind of see is pushing that and just many other stocks higher. So currently you have the Dow up 2.78%, S&P 2.8, NASDAQ up 3.27. You're also seeing Bitcoin go through a very nice push higher, and so that is up 3.67%. So all in all, pretty kick-ass day. For shorts though, they're not really doing all that much. They're increasing roughly around 5,000 shares right now. So in comparison to what they have been doing, they are very timid today. So 13.03% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 140.32 million shares overall are being shorted. So I think today's might be marking the potential bottom. Of course, we're going into a very heavily scrutinized earnings season. So starting off with Tesla, so that could cause some volatility, but when it comes down to this, if there truly is a deal coming with China, this is going to instantly propel the market up 15-20%, similar to what has happened or like 2 weeks ago, something like that. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if shorts start to mitigate risk ahead of that even big announcement and start to return. So bigger and better things might be coming down the pipeline. But starting off with options, 6.63 million in calls, 2.77 in puts, 46% of all the options being done today are bullish in nature. So you are seeing a rather high volume today. So I'm doing my SoFi video a little bit earlier than what I normally do, but most likely you'll be seeing it well above at least the last several trading days. So currently we're sitting at 9.5. Yesterday was 13.7. Day prior was 14.5. So most likely we'll be settling around that 16 to 18 million for today. Of the calls that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above 12 to 1250s. So some of that could be linked to the market, and then just generally SoFi having its own level of FOMO leading into its earnings, which is early next week. The bears are anticipating for it to be sub $10. So for whatever reason, they are anticipating a more of a breakdown, which could be coming from possibly on Friday, the Michigan consumer sentiment, or maybe just negative earnings. So let me know your viewpoint on that. These are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000 so far. So oddly enough, you did have that string of selling first thing right here, so that's what brought it down for whatever reason. I bet they feel kind of stupid right now. But aside from that, you are seeing big money buy the dip, both on the secondary market as well as dark pool. So big money definitely getting into SoFi today. And why not, right? You have their earnings coming up and bigger and better things are coming for that. But for SoFi right now with it at $11.40, it is right above this R2. So $11.35 is going to be a good support alongside $11.16. So just kind of watch for those. Flip side, $11.65 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, followed by $12.44. Currently, the Elliott Wave technicals for SoFi is projecting for it to get back into that $13 range. because I've stated in the past that it likes to trade between that 13 and 17, similar to what it did between that 6 to 8, obviously a year ago. But right now it does have this, so $13.36 to $14.47 is anticipated in the short term. That's not encumbering their earnings or anything like that. So their earnings could potentially move it a little bit higher, or again, as what history always does, regardless of the results, usually SoFi pulls back. So we'll have to wait and see, but no new analyst ratings today, nothing along those lines. You did have that one come out yesterday, kind of BS if you ask me, but we are about to kind of enter into a breakout territory, and that is that 200-day moving average. So in the past, that's been at least a big pivot for SoFi, so it's luckily bounced off of that and kind of held as good support. So just watch for that going into the next, I guess, later today, as well as in the next couple of trading days. So $11.52, currently above the ALMA, and the only negative about SoFi is the fact that it is overbought. But going into the earnings, I think that's kind of acceptable unless something does dramatically happen across the board, because now the market, I feel, is pricing in possibly tentatively deal with China. Let's say it goes south and it goes completely polar opposites and China just doubles down or does something bold, then you could see the market react in a very negative way. But very exciting day. Let me know your thoughts on SoFi. In all honesty, I was kind of hoping that SoFi was going to go down to the single digits again so I could buy. A little bit selfish on my part, but either way, I'm lucky that I did buy while it was cheap. So I think just bigger and better things might be coming for SoFi. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point and bangers, even including calling out the Bitcoin rally before it even happened. Went over details on why I felt that was happening. So I do that every single day, so definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.